Oopsie, my bad. Sorry, guys. My bad. I was muted. Uh, so, hi, good evening, everyone. I'll start from scratch. Uh, this candle and EMA gap finally closed yesterday. Today, we were holding in a very tight range, 4668 and between the 12 EMA. Okay. Now, usually when we have massive move like from 4260 all the way to 4700, that's about 10%, more than 10 to 11% of move. Now you should have, can you all hear me now? Like I have unmuted myself. Can you confirm me that you can hear me on chat? Anybody? Let me type in. Okay, that's good. So I was saying that for last this cycle, right? We were away from the 12 EMA. Now we finally have cashed up and we have a substantial move all the way from 4260 to 4700. That's about 450 points roughly. Okay, and that gives you a 10% or above a little like 10.5% move, which is a massive one directional move. Now we have got the 12 EMA and from mid of this month or early next month, we are going to have tapering. So I want to talk about tapering now and how it's going to impact, because till this moment, I was really confident that yes, Fed $120 billion dollar amount will push the market up, and ECB's program, which is almost like $120 billion. It is broken into two parts, PEP and APP. This is 80 billion stimulus and this is 40 billion. So roughly we have about $240 billion stimulus amount. Now this is getting cut. This $120 billion will start now. So there's a $15 billion cut over here. There's going to be some cut here, but this number is still going to be there. Okay, so all the Fed money which was flowing in, it's still flowing in, but it will start to cut down substantially. And last time when it happened somewhere in 2018, 2019. If I go back, this is where it happened in 2019. And it started in September. And then once it started, right from this point, December, September, from here, all the way from here, we lost about 10%. And why it is happening? Because when we are funding the economy just to balance or to provide the support, it makes sense. But now the assets are getting very high or very expensive valuations. Plus, FOMC have already realized that yes, the money which they are pumping, it needs to be cut down now. Plus, they are also going to unwind like all the stimulus which they have issued through bond programs or debt purchases. They will sell those. And once they start doing that, there will be a liquidity crunch, which will bring the market down. So I am realizing that with Elon Musk's message or tweet, this thing is actually started. That people at higher, like top of the chain, they are now realizing that yes, this is going to happen. And they may not pump or push the stock market that much. They'll be trying to distribute their positions going forward before like they settle the market and then come back again. So right now we have to figure we might move up, but we need to be very careful that as soon as there's a news, we will have momentum declines. We will have declines of 2%, 3%, maybe in a day. So need to have some hedges in place. That would be my like my theory, that if I'm going long here in day-to-day trading, I will still keep some options on the put side, especially for SPY and QQQ, just to make sure that if anything goes wrong, I still have my hedges up. Until now, I was just thinking one way up, but now I'm getting a little skeptical because this is a rejection from the long-term trend line. And last time we had it, we gave about what 5 to 6%. And prior to that, we did not had a massive cut. Like we had a cut, we took the support and we bounced back. But now we are at the resistance area. So whenever there's a test of resistance, the next is a test of support. Support comes around 45.19 here. And this is a 50% Fibonacci, which is not a significant support. The actual support comes around 44.58. So there's a possibility of 200 point decline if we break below 46.32. So just hi everyone, hi Charan, hi Uttam, hi Vinil, hi Aman, hi David, Spencer, Vishal, Raj, Ike, Harry. See, we need to realize, I'll just focus on this thing before I say hi to all of you now, that we must realize that market is moving up, and this market has moved up from 2174 to 4700, which is more than 100% in a span of 18 months. It has never happened in the past. This happened because FMC introduced $120 billion money in the market per month. Now that money, I was attending a webinar in the afternoon today. That money usually comes during the expiry week of the month. The big amount, like let's say if out of $120 billion, if the money is $80 billion, it will come around the middle or the expiry of the month. Rest will come along the other weeks. So we need to see if on 19th of November expiry, do we get a push or do we not get a push? If we do not get a push, you see here, we had the push, even push here on all the expiries. If we do not have a push this time, it will go down. It means that Fed is also unwinding along with tapering. Tapering is only half part of it. Unwinding is the bigger aspect, right? So we must understand and be ready if something happens, because these will be momentum declines. So momentum declines should be kept in mind. And if we have some hedges, like I'll myself look for some QQQ or SPY puts, you can look at your portfolio and then based on that, make some decisions. But this is what I'm looking for. On the contrary, if we get a support and we bypass this 4668, we have to now cross this long-term trend line. This can be little, it requires some catalyst. Like all the positive catalysts which market wanted, they're already there. The plan of infrastructure is approved. All the catalysts regarding EV and everything, they are running. Small scale index IWM has finally broken out from a congestion, is making new highs. And usually when we have the small scale companies or small scale index making the highs, that's the last leg of the entire cycle. So we need to be very carefully watching when IWM makes new highs. And the moment it loses the strength, I think that will be a confirmation. And this is what I'm sharing from my experience. The moment IWM loses its strength, that will be the point where it will have a confirmation we are going down on all the three indexes, NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow Jones. Because all these indexes have made all-time highs as compared to IWM, and they have moved substantially up. Only IWM was lagging behind. Now IWM is catching up. If there will be like few days like today or yesterday where you will not have any kind of movement in the indexes, they will be in a very tight range, maybe 10 per point, 15 point. But IWM will be, like, if you look at IWM today, let me go here. IWM still was 1%, and it's kind of testing this 240 area. And in the afternoon when I went live, I told everybody that yes, it's a time to book gains, because if it breaks here, that will be the confirmation that yes, we are going down. So it's kind of held here. So I'm looking forward to see whether it can go up or not. Okay. This is something which I wanted to share with you all first before I start the analysis, because this is pretty significant. We must understand why would we go up or why would we go down. Okay, technical aspects are there, but we also need to understand the macroeconomic factors which allow this thing to move. All right. If you have any questions around this, I'll post a Zoom link after I'm done with my analysis, and then we can talk about this in detail. All right. And hi, everybody who was in the chat. So ES is an inside day. If I go to my sheet, ES is still neutral because it could not, and you see 4644. 4644 was held throughout the day, and we closed above this number. That's what we were looking yesterday. Okay, now if we break below 4644 today, 4644. Now stop loss here will be 46 and 68. That's a 20-point stop loss. So there's a range that if it breaks above 4668, only then I'll be buying it. Because there's a small possibility, yes, we might break up above this number, but stop loss is pretty confined here by 4. And target will be this area, 4711 or 4700. There's not much on the upside as of now. We need to show some strength to break out. And I'm just giving it a neutral view just because it can actually be, there's also a possibility that yes, because it's an inside bar, so there's a possibility. But I'm more focused on getting sell. If we go below 4644, stop loss is 24 points, but the risk and reward is pretty high. 4581 is the first one, and then 4549 is the second one. 4549. You can use SPY if you do not want to use ES. You can choose SPY and make a appropriate trade. Just divide it by 10 and then do it. I would say between 4644 and 4668 is a no trade zone for me. You might be lucky and make some trade between 4644 and 4668. For me, it's a no trade zone. I would only lose if I'm trading the index. It's better I can trade some stocks, but I will not be trading index in this range. I have to be very specific. All right, that's the other aspect of this. Okay, so this is the plan for tomorrow. If we are above this, I'll try to go and find positions which can be marked as long. If it is below this, I can mark the positions where I can go short. Triple Q. Let me do my daily scan first in this inside days. So T triple Q is inside day, Twitter, Walmart SPY, Team Snow. Okay, so it's not much. Now coming to triple Q. Triple Q is also making an inside day, and yesterday it closed right on this point, 389.71. Now again, like it's in a range where it needs to break up or break down. Possibility of getting to 382 is high as compared to possibility of breaking to 400 at this moment, because the momentum is shifting. Once we have a clarity that yes, we are above 4668 and we are above 394, yes, we will try. But the real momentum will now come once we break above 401. Okay, so triple Q, sell below this, stop loss is here, and the target is here. I'll not be buying anything on triple Q unless it breaks 394. If it breaks 394 on a 30-minute candle, and I want to show this on 30-minute candle level, you see this is the long-term trend line, which is 393, 394 area. The trend on the 30-minute is, the first confirmation is the 34 EMA is higher as compared to the 12 EMA. And this is not trying to test 34 EMA. It's trying to take a support around the 12 EMA. And finally, it gave back that support during the last hour. Now, if we break below 389, we could end up giving much more on triple Q. All right, so I am not going to be pretty positive on triple Q. I'm still short. I'm waiting for 389 to break. Once it does, yes, I'll be confirmed on short side. On positive side, I'll be waiting for 393.70 to cross on 30 minutes. Only then I'll be jumping into this. Apple. Apple again like came to that area 147.79 and tested the 12 EMA exactly to the point, which is 149.38, and today's high is 149.43. So exactly to the point it came to both close underneath the 34 EMA. So I am still waiting for Apple to come down. It may not fall that much as compared to any other stock because it has not moved enough. 146 is an important line for Apple. If we break 146, we might have a substantial follow through on the downside. And there are gaps on Apple which needs to be filled. 137 area, this gap is still open. This gap is still open, which needs to be filled. So this 146 area is pretty strong support here. And if I understand it correctly, it is trying to make an inverted head and shoulders. So if it comes around 146, it can move. This is something which is there in Baba as well, which I was saying for last couple of days. And you see from 160, it made 169 today. So something similar is setting up for Apple. 146 is an extremely good support area for Apple. It will not break. If it breaks, then it fails the idea of inverted head and shoulders, and it changes my bias towards it. On weekly, it is making a bearish engulfing, and it's between the two ranges. Now, it needs to end up with clarity that it comes around 147, which is a weekly 12 EMA. If it takes a support of that, I think it's gonna bounce. And that's what I have in my sheet, that I'm looking to add Apple around this, keeping a stop loss. It is trying to make a potential inverted head and shoulders, but I'm still waiting for it. So I'm just mentioning it. It's a potential inverted head and shoulders. Where we have potential, we should keep an eye on it. Airbnb. Airbnb today tried its hard to break up, but again, like it closed right at 191.69. It did made a higher high, higher low, but if you look at the price section, it opened here, and as soon as it opened, sellers came in and bring it down towards the low of the day. And that means that people are ready to sell it. They want this gap to fill. So again, I am keeping this 194, 195 area, which is the open today, as my stop loss, 194.95 area, and I would be selling below 191.69. This has been acting as a good space. If it breaks down and come to 185, I would try to go long here for once, because it means that this will be held, plus the gap still remains. And whenever you have a gap and that persists and you try to change your direction, that is a confirmation that yes, you have the momentum and buyers are still there. They're not waiting for it to come down here. So I would be a legitimate buyer at 185, but I want to see whether it touches 185 or not. 185, and that's the 12 EMA, 185.33. Still shorting it, but I'm giving a conviction now to 60%. PayPal. PayPal, as I said, it's a potential sell and rise option. It came all the way to 208 once again today and made a bearish engulfing. Bearish engulfing always follow through with two back-to-back candles. So tomorrow, if you have an opportunity, sell it. Your stop loss should be mid of this candle. Okay, this is called piercing. If I annotate here, next candle, like you might have a candle like this, and this will be your stop loss. This is called piercing, coming to the middle of the current candle, and this entire body has covered this small body. So this is engulfing, covering the entire body here. Okay, now when it does, it means the selling pressure is still too high. And when the selling pressure is high, there will be a follow-up selling on the candles. So if I have to trade this, I'll be selling it with a stop loss of 205 and just short this. It did not break now, so I'll be selling it with a stop loss of 205. And I'm just giving it sell near in this range so that it can come up. And in this case, my target will be 195. 195. It was neutral, but now I'm just convinced it's not going to move. So neutral to now short. And this will be there. Amazon. So Amazon came to 34.63 and made high 35.43. See, right in this range. And that's why I emphasize you all, when you're placing your Fibonacci, if you place them right, you will see that the market respect those levels automatically. Until now, it was making higher highs, higher lows. But since yesterday, it made a bearish engulfing, and now it's making an inside day. The volume of today, let me just check just to make sure that volume was, yeah, it's making an inside day. Amazon is an inside day. If it breaks 34.63, it will come down to 3384. So we need to be very careful on Amazon. Amazon's not showing strength. It needs to break. Let me just convert this into a weekly candle and show you one thing. Annotations. So you see, this is the box where Amazon is right there. This is the box. Okay. Now it has struggled here, 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 here. Now, if we do not have a closing above 35.43 this time, I think it has lost the momentum and it will come down again. Every time it has lost, it has come down to 300 area. But this time we have a good support at this range, which is this green, dark green line. All right. So we need to be watchful. If we can get entry around this area, that will be wonderful, like we did at 32.86, and ride the Amazon train once again. So let's see what's happening in Amazon on the daily candles. So on the daily candles, the extremely good support now is 3320, which is somewhere here. Okay. If it breaks 3463, I'll be looking to see 3384. I'll be entering around this area. I'll not be making any shorts here, but I'll be looking to see if it breaks below 3463. So right now I'm gonna say neutral. You might do 2 trades in Amazon. I'm just pushing it a row here. Let me just copy this. So Amazon, you can have actually 2 trades. One is neutral, where you can buy the dip around 3463 area. You can buy the dip here. Sorry. Buy the dip here, 346 area. Keep a stop loss of this and this. That's a 45-point stop loss. And if Amazon has to go down, this can be very quickly filled. So I'll be watching it. If it breaks below 3463, this should be my stop loss. That's the first trade, which I will call as neutral. Buy the dip near this, and stop loss will be 3450. And in this case, we need to have a weekly closing above 3543 and 3495. That will be the target area. This I'm giving 60%. Second is neutral to short. This trade will be, if it breaks below 3450, you can see where it is. It's a sell below 3450. Stop loss will be 3463, and target will be 3405 and 3384. And this will be the 40% possibility that we end up with this. So I am more interested to buy Amazon at this number. But if we want to see Amazon's momentum, we need to have a weekly closing of 34.43. If we do not do that, it will lose the entire momentum which has built in the last 2 weeks. Boeing. Let me just clean this up. Yeah. Boeing is still struggling in this area. The trend is finally converging. Like, it is coming out of this negative trend. It's holding this gap. And as I say, if you're holding a gap, it means there is some buying pressure. There is some buying pressure which is holding it above this channel. And this is an extremely important support area. You may get a test of this once again, like today low was again 1890. And that's why every time you see the highs and lows, they are getting respected by these numbers. And that's why I also trust my numbers pretty solidly, because I have confidence in them that yes, they are getting respected. So if you have Fibonacci set like this, and a channel coming and crossing it, it means it's trying really, really hard to have a closing above 218.91 on the weekend. If we have that weekend, it means that this will be our first weekly close above the channel, outside the channel, which means we can have a follow-up move. Okay, so follow-up move can be really, really strong. So I'm looking forward for Boeing. The equation for me is still the same. I need to break out of 225. If I do that, that's awesome. I think we're going to manage that gap around 217. If we break 217, then there's no point trading in Boeing. Baba is working like a charm. We discussed it like at least 3 or 4 times that it's making inverted hand shoulders. It has started. So right from here, 160 area, it has moved. It will continue to move up. So I'm already in this trade, and I will not change anything on that. In Baba, I am like, if we get a dip by this is the first target. These are the 2 second targets. I'm pretty sure we're going to hit these numbers. And that's why this is one of the 70%. And for last 2 days, you have seen that, yes, Baba is really showing some strength. If you can do the same trade with Baba, Baidu, JD, PDD, all of these companies will now show some strength because China is about to talk to Biden, and we might see something positive out of that. And once we see, because these companies have been laggard, and as I say, there will be a money flow from the large tech companies to small tech companies, maybe to the Chinese companies because they are on the lagging side. So there's a very high possibility that, yes, we might see some extremely good moves in the Chinese stocks. So I am holding my positions in Baba. Nvidia. Let me do Affirm instead of Nvidia. Affirm is in better shape. I'll do the Nvidia on the short side. It's moving up, but let's talk about Affirm. So Affirm today, after the earnings, moved up really well. But again, I was talking to my group that it will test the top of the line of the channel. It did, could not capitalize and gave back everything. In last half an hour, 30 minutes, it was holding this 34 EMA, tried to breach 159. Come on, 159, but failed and made an evening star. Now, on 30-minute candle, it has definitely have 12 EMA greater than 34. So if it holds this area and 150, you will see a bounce because it has tried to close this. Come on, has tried to test this. So if we do that, it will break out. So now 159 is a really, really important area for Affirm, and stop loss here will be 150. So I am giving Affirm a positive move because it's holding the gap. Buy near 150, 152. Look for 159, 176. Stop loss will be 147. So this equation should be really, really set. And I'm 70% confident on Affirm. Like I was short from 176 to 143. This time I'm confident because it showed the strength. It held on to the gap which it had. Now let's come to Nvidia. Nvidia is consolidating. It's like the gap is still there. I want to enter Nvidia at this point, or I would like to short. This move, you can just ignore it because all that chip companies, they move first, and when they're moving down, they are the first one to go down. So I'm still waiting for it to go down so that it can break down. It's also making an inside day, Nvidia. So any moment it breaks above 308, you can go long, or any moment it breaks below 209, you can go short. So I'm looking to go short on Nvidia with an inside day, but only if it comes around this area. I'll not be rushing. If it breaks 306 on the higher side, I'll be changing my bias because it's an inside day, and inside days should be respected. Caterpillar almost tested 211 today, came to buying range, and then moved from there. Uh, it almost came to 210 to 11. So I think there can be some follow-up move in Caterpillar, and usually Friday Caterpillar do make some good moves. Now I'll be just moving the stop losses here. 205, buy in the range 208, 209. Target will be this. And I'm still keeping it neutral. I'll become positive in Caterpillar once it breaks 215. If we can have a weekly closing around 215, then yes. And guys, I'll come back to all of your tickers. Hi Chris, hi Srini, hi Suraj, hi Avir, hi Krishna, hi Bala. I will hi Vijay, RK, and Manish. I will come back to all of the tickers once I'm done with my analysis. I will share the link and then we can talk about them. So I will convert my bias to positive once we break 215. 215 here has been a pain point for Caterpillar. It needs to be crossed on the weekly basis. If it does, I will give a thumbs up to Caterpillar. VMware, I just want to get rid of it for now. It's a good stock. Let me just see. It's making like higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. So it's losing that momentum which it had with the Dell news. Now, I just want to get rid of it. I don't think it's worthy of being here at this moment. Just make this a 10, this 11, and remove the Facebook. Facebook is one of the stock which I would see it's coming closer, making inverted head and shoulders, getting set for a move right from here to here, come here, come here, come here, and it will move. So it's almost setting. I'm just waiting for a little drawdown on Facebook. If it holds 324.25 area, extremely bullish from Facebook. So its potential still, the equation is pretty much same. If it breaks 324, Facebook can go deep down. And I mean that. This is the third time where it is testing the long-term trend line. If it breaks below this, this can be really ugly. If you look at the weekly candles, we do not have a weekly close below this long-term trend line for last 16 to 18 months. Any close below this, I would not think that Facebook will hold up. And that is the reason that there is also a repurchase or buyback program that even management understands that yes, Facebook is going through an area where it might struggle. So we need to be very careful here. 325 is 324 area is an extremely important area for Facebook. And if you want to do a day trade or an overnight trade, buy Facebook at close and sell it at morning. This trade will work for next couple of days. Google, again, Google, I'm still looking to short this. This is consolidating. And if you see the candles here, it's making an evening star on the weekly, which is not a nice thing. Like on the daily candles, if you have a weekly evening star, it's all right. But it's happening on a weekly candle. It's not giving me any confidence. So Google, I'm just going to mention I'm short, and it's on weekly evening star. And I'm going to increase its percentage to even 80 now. If market goes down, Google will be the first one to go down. Sell below 2897, which is this number. And we might see a test of 2848 and 2800. We are closed below the 12 EMA. For last many days, we were holding above 12 EMA, but today we closed below it, like yesterday, back-to-back 2 days. So in this case, we can have definite downside move. And we're just near 2897 will confirm a downside move on Google. Then IWM. IWM, I'm still positive, as I said, that this will be the last cycle for IWM. I want to enter around 236, 237, keeping a stop loss of 236.34. 240 will be the target. And if it breaks out, I'll be looking to 250, 260. So here I'm positive. Buy the dip. Stop loss has only changed to 236.34. And target will be 240.32 and 250 for now. It's buy the dip. Lucid Motors, my favorite company. As I said, it will give you a dip today to 40 to 27. It did. And then it bounced from there. We talked about the first 30-minute 2 candles. Look at the first 30 minute. So it closed right at 43 area. Even if you added at 43.50, you had 45, about 1.5 or 3% move. So that's why I emphasize on respecting the levels. Now I'll not be jumping on Lucid at this time because it's getting some pressure. I need it to come down a little bit so that I can enter again. So I'll be waiting for this once again, but I don't need 2 bullish candles now. That's confirmed. It's in very positive momentum. I would like to buy the dip in this. Here I want to include QS. MU. This is one of the other chip stocks. MU is making an inside day. It needs to break above 75. Any move over 75, 64 will be really, really bullish. I'm waiting for, if we can have a weekly close like tomorrow, if somehow it shows strength and can go and have a close above this, I'll be carrying some positions in MU. So MU, I'll be buyer. Like today it came to 72, 73, 73 area, and then it moved. Tomorrow, if we can have a opening of 75, 64, keep a stop loss of 75, it should work out. So MU is inside day, and just keep one thing in mind. If we can have a closing above this, then it will run next week. It is consolidating really, really hard. So it will break out pretty strong. Roku, Roku is respecting this area, which is the gap. Now, if this gap is held and if we manage to hold on to this, it's okay. But if we break through this, then we'll come down all the way to 37. Okay, so we need to be very careful here with Roku. 267 is your extreme stop loss if you want to go long. I'm just giving a neutral view on Roku with a stop loss of 267. Buy in the range of 270, 72. This is extremely risky. I'm just calling this as neutral. Target are still there at 300 and 309. In fact, 292. Now 292 is the change. 292. Guys, I do not do these meme stocks. These meme stocks are out beyond my prerogative. I do not understand them, and they don't work on technicals for me. So I don't do them. AMD today it went above 141 and then it showed that strength. So I will keep that in mind and remove this. AMD. Stop loss will now be 141. Again, 143 and close on the highs. It will try for 155 as I expected here, 155. So I'm still keeping that. Now 141.16 will become the stop loss. And you can buy above 145. It's showing 148, but everything can change after hours. If you can get 148.85, that's a go ahead to go long. It means it has addressed all the selling pressure and now it's going up. So 148.85 will be an extremely positive move in AMD. So if I have to enter here, I'll be entering here with 145 as my stop loss. Target will be 155. And this is positive now. It held on to that gap and it's managing it properly. Tesla today could not hold on to the initial opening and closed below the 12 EMA. Now it's totally short. Short below 1080 and you will see 978 or maybe 929. It's going to lose pretty quick. So it's a sell now. Sell near 1060 to 1070. Stop loss is this. Target is this one first. 1022 and 978. I will not be surprised if we can see 1020 maybe tomorrow. I will not be surprised. I'm extremely bearish on this. Then we have QS. QS has ran substantially strong. Again, it came and break this long-term trend line and closed above it, which is really important. If I break it to weekly now, this is an extremely important area. If we break out above this, 45 to 61, we can easily achieve in case of QS. And stop loss is pretty confined, 36. So QS is positive by in the range 37 to 40. Stop loss 36, expect 46 and 61. Okay, let me share the Zoom link and we can discuss all the points which you have, all the tickers you have, and go through one by one. We can talk about all the companies, guys. It's easier for me to communicate one by one. Right here. I'll be opening the chat and looking at all the tickers. So I'll start from the bottom. Rivian, let me start with Rivian. Rivian is extremely bullish at this moment. It's just running. Let me just. In case you have to speak, raise your hand. That's the option, and I'll let you speak. This way I can manage it properly. Yes, Suman.
Hanji, thank you for amazing, as usual, levels. It's pretty phenomenal. I wanted to ask you about two things. First was, what do you think about this Santa rally? Is this going to happen this year? Or because of Fed tapering and asset purchases decreasing, do you think it's not going to happen? And second question is about Disney. What do you think about that going forward in the next week?
Okay, so what was your question, like with tapering? What's the word you used?
I was using asset purchases. Do you think if Christmas Santa rally is going to happen this year, or because of tapering, the rally is not going to happen? What do you think about that?
We just had that rally.
So rally's over. 2 weeks. It's done.
I think so.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to know. Okay.
It's a rally which happened as a Thanksgiving rally. Maybe we have one more week,
Okay.
but it will be on the small cap.
Okay.
But if we break out strongly, then everything changes. But as of now, what I see that we are in a very tight spot. We need some strength to move up, and that's why you see Google is losing steam, Tesla is lost steam,
Yeah.
Amazon has given back almost 150 points.
Yeah.
Apple is weak, Facebook is weak. Who's
Yeah.
going to move the index?
That's true. I agree. I just wanted to touch base with you on this one. And what about Disney? Had a massive sell-off.
Has shown one thing really nice, that it managed to hold on to this gap. You see the high here is 154.88. The low here is 158.33.
Yeah.
It managed to hold on to this gap, which is positive. If you hold on to the gaps like this, even after such a massive disaster, it means you have strength.
It almost closed at the open of what it opened as. That's pretty amazing.
Yes. So if index has to move, Dow Jones has to move, Disney, Boeing, Caterpillar, John Deere, LMT, all these companies will show some strength.
Right.
Right. So this could be one of that company where if you want to invest in Disney, buy out maybe next year's option and just leave them. Next year, 200 option for Disney, I would see they'll be pretty cheap. Next year, June, let's say, 200 options is only $3.
Oh, wow.
And once this issue with kids, they get vaccinated, this stock will blow out.
Agree.
It's consolidating because of COVID, but once it starts to have those people coming, because they have increased the rates of the park, they are going to have more and more people coming. They are going to have new movies coming, adventure parks with their streaming business and ESPN expanding. I think it's gonna go bonkers on the higher side. It's just that it needs to hold this area pretty strongly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, then yes, Renuka. You have anything to ask? Okay. I cannot hear you if you're speaking. Okay, Devin.
Hi, Navaldeep. First, I just want to say how much I appreciate you. I found you recently and I'm just really loving your channel. So I just want to give you that love. I think you're great.
Thank you.
My question is on your trades. Are you more of a day trader or swing trader? I mean, what are your, like when you talk about Amazon and Tesla and Boeing, are you a few days out, a week out, 2 weeks out for these trades? What is your time frame on these trades that you're doing?
See, if I am confident on a move, like for example, Baba, I'm confident, then I will buy at least 1 to 2 months out options. Even if they're expensive, I will buy them in good quantity, 10 to 15 lots. If I am just waiting for a potential setup to perform, like it's still going to uh, come out as proper pattern, in that case, I look out for 2 weeks out. Even if they are 2 weeks out, I tend to close them if I'm making a dollar amount which I have defined for me. Let's say $2,000 for a trade. If I get that, I will close my trade no matter what. And then I will switch on and move on to the next trade. Like I try to, for example, Amazon. Okay. So Amazon, there are two options depending on what you do. So I entered Amazon here with two options. One was January call 4,000 and one was next week call of 3380. I kept January calls until here, but I sold my weekly calls at 3384, entered into 3460 calls of next week, and then 3540 calls of next week and 3600 calls. So I keep on moving my weekly calls, but I kept my January calls and I sold them around 34, 540. So I look at the momentum and then I see the risk reward which is involved. Based on that, I make my positions. So I can be a day trader, I could be a swing trader, I can be a holder for long term. That totally depends. Like Lucid Motor, I'm holding it 25 calls for January 2023, and they are like about 700%. I have SPY calls of 500 of 2023, which I bought at 90 cents. They're trading at $20, more than 200%. So I have all the plans which work for me.
I see.
It's not like I do day trade or swing trade. It's a potential in the trade, which I pick.
I have 3,600 butterflies for next week on Amazon. So I'm hoping if it goes down, it's a quick trip.
Yes, but I would say that 3384 is an extremely important area for Amazon. I doubt it will break, but if it breaks, then it changes the entire momentum for Amazon.
Yeah.
I expect that it holds on to this 3463 area tomorrow and bounce. If it does that, I think you should cut your middle leg in the butterfly and let the open first and the last leg open. That's what I do and make money quickly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And when I'm losing it, like let's say it goes to 3350, for example, even then I would cut my middle legs because I will buy them back. My costs will be reduced for my 3600 and I will double down on 3600 by closing my last leg. So I do use these option strategies depending on what is the scenario. And these scenarios could be any scenario at any given time.
So you're saying if we drop, I should get out of, or I should think about getting out of, I know this isn't financial advice. I should think about getting out of the middle, the body of the butterflies.
That's what I do.
And then hold the bottom, hold the two wings for next week.
That's what I do. And this way, I do only this when I'm confident on a setup.
Interesting.
This way, see, this is a little complicated way of making money. So I make money on the middle leg because when it goes down, it loses the premium on the middle leg and I have double the quantity in the middle leg. So I buy it back and I only buy it back when it comes to my level. I do not rush to buy it back upfront. If it comes to my level, it's okay. If it doesn't, then I leave the butterfly running.
Interesting.
So this way I can get much more out of my trade as compared to mere butterfly percentage.
Absolutely. I didn't think about that. Okay. That's
And sometimes I do make my naked calls into butterflies. I do not start with butterfly. I even make them into iron condors. It totally depends again, like on the momentum of that stock. And I do share this information with the people who are struggling with PDT. Better to make butterflies to get your capital back. And in this case, you will also book the profit. For example, I have 3,600 call. I entered at 10. Now it's trading at 20. Because of PDT, I cannot sell it. What should I do? I would go for 36.20, sell that. This will reduce my cost. Then if it goes to 36.30, I will make it a butterfly. This way, I am in both the legs, 3,600, 36.20, 36.20 to 36.40. And my cost will be less than 10 to 20 cents. I will have my capital back plus my profit. People do not do this, but this works out. Now, in this case, if something happens on Amazon loses the premium or Amazon goes up, I will still have a butterfly which will return me something. If it goes down, I will not lose a single penny.
well, because Amazon is notorious for selling off on Fridays. You know, I've
Yes.
been trading that stock for 4 years. And on
Yes.
Fridays, it has a habit of jumping up in the morning, then selling off. So if what you're saying, you know, is correct, it's very interesting, first of all, because if it does drop and I can get out of the middle, the body, you know, for a profit and then just hold the rest into next week, that's very interesting.
So this way you can make money on all the legs.
Thank you. That is very interesting. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad I tuned in tonight.
No
Thank-
worries.
Thank you for that.
But I would recommend you to do a paper trade on this first, just to have confidence,
Mhm.
and then try to implement this.
Okay. No, but I know that stock and I know tomorrow it's probably gonna do its thing, go down like it I mean, it might not, but usually most of the time it sells off on a Friday and then Monday and Tuesday are great, but so that's a very interesting way of looking at this. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Then I don't have any other person. So let me go back to the chat. We want to discuss Rivian, right? Rivian at this moment, like it's more of a company which is pretty expensive at this moment. I would not judge it now. I would like just wait for some cool off period in Rivian. It's too expensive at this moment. It's not worth it to enter at this time. That's what my take on Rivian is. Then let me just go back. Somebody's asking about Square. And guys, if you are there on the call and you have asked, if you have your charts, you can come up with your charts and then we can discuss. Square has come down to 225 area, which is extremely important support. If it breaks, it can easily test 220. All these companies, PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Square, which were related to the consumer spending, they are getting hit because of the inflation, because the consumer spending is decreasing. You may see some momentum towards the Thanksgiving and Christmas because of people spending more dollar amount at that time, but you will not see much more unless the inflation eased off. As and when the inflation start to ease off, you will see these companies making a comeback. But until then, I'll not touch them. Then John Deere. John Deere it's in a good position. 351, 352 is a good area to go long, and we can see 368. So guys, like if you're asking all these questions, if you have your charts, I can look at your charts and see what your expectations are. But as per my charts, it was inverted head and shoulders, and it's kind of completing that form now. So 351, 349 is an extremely important area for John Deere. And as I say always, you need to do your due diligence, you need to do your practice on making these levels. Once you start doing that, you will have confidence. Even if the market is against you, you know what's your level, you will start to have confidence and you will add positions at those levels, and it will do wonders. If you keep on following me, keep on following someone else, you are not going to make money. You have to practice, you have to do your work. Like, I'm not getting anything spending 1 hour in the night to do this, but I love it. And that's why I'm giving my dedication towards my work. And that pays off. If you do the same thing, it will pay off to you as well. Netflix, I missed it. Netflix was like, I have a calendar spread in Netflix. I've been holding it. I need to check what's the price in there. So Netflix tried today to break out, test the 12 EMA breakout, but could not close. Did made a higher high. And I was looking to enter Netflix around 640, 650 area. It did came to that area and I missed it. I should have closed my calendar spread and kept it open, but it's looking good. It's looking better. With Disney's result, it got the momentum back. So it needs to have a close above 660, which is the 12 EMA, and then 660 to 677 may be a consolidation area. So that's the reason I made the calendar spread. So if it breaks over 667, 677, it will carry or get the momentum back. Then UL and Uber. Uber, I think somebody was pumping Uber for the last couple of days on CNBC, and people watch CNBC and they think, oh, it's on the TV, let's buy it. But I would like to see the setup here. This is the recent highs, 48, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candle. After 5 candles, it's coming and making a doji, which shows that yes, the selling pressure has eased off. People are no longer interested to sell. If we have a green candle tomorrow, like this will make a morning star. And once you are in the morning star, you can go up here to 48, 48. So tomorrow could be really interesting for Uber. You need to have an opening above today's close. You should have a green open. If it does, then you can have a possible morning star. Then UAL. Like all the airlines, I'm pretty much positive. As like Disney, it's trying to fill the gap. Like 50 is an extremely good area to enter into UL. If it holds 50, I think it will jump from there. So 50 is an extremely good area for Uber, for UAL. DWAG is beyond my understanding, so I have no idea on that. Palantir, we discussed last night that 22, 23 area is a good area. It's making support here. It did make a new low. So I will keep 22 as the stop loss if I'm looking to go long in Palantir. I'll not be tracking anything else from here. Again, if you have your chart, if you have your levels, we can discuss that. But that's Palantir. Rivian, we have discussed. UPST. UPST is highly overrated company. Super overrated. It's a bearish engulfing candle. Can easily test 223. There's a big gap which needs to be filled. And there's no stock in the world which will not fill the gap. It's just the momentum which is making it can hold it around 223. But it's 260, 268 area is an area where it will find difficulty to cross. It's a good selling area at this time. Extremely good selling area. If you get 268, sell it. If you get 223, you may think to buy. but that's the area. In between, it's a sell on rise trade. Then Ford. So Catem, I am holding Ford since 11 as stocks, and I'm not selling it. So I'm extremely bullish on Ford. People are overestimating, over-expecting Tesla, but there are companies, Lucid Motors, General Motors, Ford. They are companies which are there and giving good competition to Tesla in next couple of years. Tesla had a head start. They could have done much better than what they have done. But now they're going to feel the competition. And these companies with electric vehicle across the world, they're going to make good inroads into that category. So just hold on to Ford Motors. That's what I will say. David, about the call flow, there is a possibility that yes, these are next year March or April calls or February calls. But problem with that is that can you hold on to those calls until that time? If not, and if you try to enter into a trade maybe for next month instead of the same expiry, then there's high possibility you may end up losing money. Because all these people who are adding long-term calls, if they were so confident, they would have added at least a month out, not a year out. So they are confident on the company and they are making a position expecting that there may be some volatility during that intermediate period. I can show you Uber calls. 1 second. Uber. These are the calls for Uber. These are February calls right here. But you see, these are not new calls. These are the calls which were there and maybe they are closed, maybe they are open. You can do one thing. You can go to analyze, go to Uber, go to February 18, 47.5. Look at the volume and look at the open interest. Look at the volume, look at the open interest. Tomorrow, if you have more than 4,000 here and more than like 40,000 here, it means those positions are added and people are bullish on Uber. If you don't see that number adding here, then it means they close their positions. So we have 45 and 47.5 both there. So one will be closed, one will be open. It will show up in the open interest tomorrow morning. So keep an eye, make a screenshot of this, compare the numbers tomorrow before the call 9:30 starts. Just see. If they are rolling down as Chirag is saying, then you will see the impact in the open interest. Open interest is really important to understand. Plus, these are all the white ones, which means that there's no net addition in the open interest. In Indian market, you get to know this information, but in the US market, you do not have this information. You need to understand, or you need to write API to get the live data, compare it with a 15-20 minute time frame, and then see whether the open interest is added or slow. So if we have a couple of people, we can write this program which can tell us the real-time open interest. If you are interested, I can work with you and get this thing done. And this could be really beneficial to all of us. Just ping me if you can do the ETL and the API programming. We can get the data from NASDAQ and create a real-time update on the open interest. Okay, last is Zoom. Zoom, as I said yesterday, Zoom will go down. It's going down and down and down. It will continue to go down to 220. I don't see any. It's similar to Roku. It needs to hold 230, 240. Yeah, there's this very small gap here. Hit 179. It's extremely bearish at this time. The support area is this around 240, 239. If it doesn't hold this, it's going to go down too much. I'll be picking up one more ticker and that's it. And guys, I want this to be a discussion, not a monologue. I want you to participate here, show your charts. I can allow you to share your screens and then you can take it from there. T-Dog, after the earnings, it has shown extremely good move, but along with the entire healthcare sector, or the pharma sector, it's getting weak. Because this was much more in COVID era. It went making highs, but T-Doc is struggling in this area. This area, it needs to make some support. Yes, Ike. CPNG.
Yes, good evening, Naval. Wanted to ask you, have you ever done a session in the past on how to set this chart on TOS?
I have done this session. I have a video. You can go back and watch it. It's there in the learning playlist. I have posted all about these. So CPNG is making a bearish pattern here, bearish engulfing, but earnings are earnings. You cannot have a candle telling you about earnings, and I have extremely bad experience in earning plays. I always lose. No matter what I do, I will lose. So CNPG in terms of technicals, it's not showing strength. But let me see one more thing here in the last 30 minutes. What happens? So this happened at 9:30, opened at 30, came down, eased off, and then showed some strength. It closed with strength. So tomorrow, if it breaks above 29:30 area, I think it can move. Mr. Kandilwal, I've been through strategic triangle and all these strategies. Nothing works for me. If I do that, then there is an option premium care. I have tried this. I've been into this for long enough. 20 years I'm doing this. I've tried each and everything. There are periods where every earning I play, I make money. But there are periods where every earning I touch, I lose money. So I'm not doing anything. So this time, if it breaks above 29, it will have some potential to move up towards 33. Are the earnings before the market or after the market? Because this is making inverted head and shoulders. We might see some move here. All right. I'm pretty much done. I'll not be doing a session tomorrow, maybe on Sunday night, because tomorrow is Friday. Sunday night we'll connect and we'll plan for it. If you get time, please start practicing these channels, this Fibonacci. If you have questions, let me know. I will answer as much as I can. And then we can have, like, I want more people to come in so that we can collaborate together. Like, I want you to share your charts, your perspective along with mine. And that's the goal I'm hoping for. All right. So if we do not have anything else, thank you very much and have a good night. Bye-bye.